Okay, the topic is the soil bearing capacity for shallow foundations under eccentric loading one-way eccentricity. So if footing is subjected to both moment and force, the distribution of pressure by the foundation on the soil is not uniform. Therefore, the relationship of moment and force be translated as the transfer of the total load at a point distance which is E from the centroid. So this E is the eccentricity or the eccentric distance. So E from the centroid of the footing area. So E therefore is equal to M all over Q, and we may already estimate what is the value of our Q minimum and Q maximum using either these two equations. But to simplify this, so let's consider the process for one-way eccentricity, which is inspired by the effective area method of Meyerhof. Okay, so for process number 1, we need to determine the effective dimension of the foundation B prime and L prime. So if ever that your load is concentrated at a certain point in which if E is along the width B, then the value of X is equal to B minus 2E, or that is your B prime, and L or your Y is equal to L or L prime. But if E is along the length or the longer side, so your Y is equal to L prime, that is L minus 2E, and X is equal to B equal to B prime. But take note that the lower of the two effective dimensions calculated in this step or procedure is the effective width, which is B prime, and the other is the effective length. So therefore, if by means of the computation, if Y is lesser than that of X, then Y turns out to be your B prime, and the longer one will be your L prime. So for our second process, so use the ultimate bearing capacity equation. So if you have already an eccentric distance load rather, then you will use ultimate bearing capacity equation only, regardless of what is the shape of your footing. So same criteria, but still for our NC, NQ, and N gamma, since this is under general bearing capacity equation, then use table 2.3. And FCS, FQS, F gamma S for the shape factors, still we will be using table 2.4, but for shape factors, you need to modify your B as B prime and L as L prime. On the other hand, for your FCD, FQD, and F gamma D, the depth factors, please use the original B. Do not replace that with B prime. So for FCI, FQI, and F gamma I, the load inclination factors, still table 2.4. So for process 3, the total ultimate load that the foundation can sustain is, so QU, the capacity, times B prime times L prime, or QU times A prime, our effective area. And the factor of safety is equal to, again, the resisting QU, the capacity, all over the total vertical load, or the Q allowable. Okay, so for our sample problem number 1, so a continuous foundation has a load eccentricity of 0.2 meter along B, so along the width. So determine the ultimate load QU per unit length of the foundation. If B is equal to 2 meters, DF as 1.5 meter, P prime 40 degrees, unit weight of soil is 17.5 kilonewtons per cubic meter, C prime as 0. Use Meyerhoff's effective area method. So we have our given and our requirement, again QU. So per unit length, thus L prime for QU, even though it is continuous foundation, we will be using 1 meter. But on the process, for the determination of our pressure QU, the small q, we will be using L equal to infinite value. But if that is under the force, then we will assume as unit length. Okay, so for our process, the ultimate load is equal to QU times B prime times L prime. So under Meyerhof effective area method for B prime and L prime, so load or eccentricity is along B, along the width B. Thus, B prime is equal to B minus 2 of our eccentricity, which is equal now to 2 meters minus 2 times 0.2 meter, or B prime as 1.6 meter. For our L prime, it is equal to L, and L is approximately infinite. So note, for the computation of QU, use L prime as infinite. But for your QU, the force, which is capital QU, then use L prime as 1. So comparing B prime and L prime is indeed, or the value of L is indeed greater than that of the B minus 2E. Thus, remaining B prime as 1.6, L prime as infinite. For ultimate bearing capacity, use the general bearing capacity equation. So for our first term, since C prime is 0, so we will eliminate it. So overburden pressure, no modification, no shallow groundwater table. So Q is equal to gamma times dF. And gamma is 17.5 times dF of 1.5, or that is 26.25 kilopascals. Bearing capacity factors, again, table 2.3. So since C is 0, then our interests are NQ and N gamma only. So NQ is 64.20 and N gamma is 109.41. Set aside now our pre-identified values, and let's identify our additional factors. So from table 2.4 equations, first is the shape factors. Again, for long, continuous, or strip footing, since L or L prime is equal to an infinite value, our FQS and F gamma S are all equal to 1. So for the depth factors, comparing dF all over B, so for depth factor, we will not alter our B and L. Still same as B. Okay, so dF is 1.5 divided by the original B, that is 2, not 1.6. So it is 0.75, which is less than 1. Therefore, first group of equations, comparing phi prime, which is 40 degrees, that is greater than 0, which means that it is under second cluster of equations. For FQD, that is now 1 plus 2 times tangent of 40 times the quantity, 1 minus sine of 40 raised to 2, times our dF all over B, which is 0.75. Again, if your dF all over B is a group of decimal numbers, then just substitute the actual dF all over B. So for FQD, it is equal to 1.161. And for F gamma D, always it is equal to 1. For inclination factors, so there is no inclination for this sample, therefore beta is 0. FQI is equal to F gamma I as equal to 1. So let's consider or set aside our factors and identify QU. So for QU, it is equal to Q, 26.25 times NQ of 64.2 times FQS, that is 1, FQD 1.161, and FQI as 1, plus 1/2 times B prime, not B, so B prime as 1.6 times gamma 17.5 times N gamma of 109.41 times F gamma S of 1, F gamma D of 1, F gamma I of 1. QU therefore is equal to 3,488.315 kilopascals. And therefore, our load is equal to the QU times B prime 1.6 times L prime, since we are interested with the force already, then it is per length or unit length. Thus, we will consider 1 meter, not infinite. Okay, so for QU, it is equal to 5,581.304 kilonewtons per unit length. Okay, so for our sample problem number 2. So along foundation, again, long strip or continuous foundation is shown in figure 2.26. So estimate the inclined load per unit length of the foundation. So this is already inclined, so with an eccentricity value of 0.15 meter. So our interest is what is that inclined load. Again, per unit length for our QU. But for the process of QU, which is the small letter Q for pressure, please use L as infinite. So for the process, our ultimate load, QU is equal to the pressure times effective dimensions. So under Meyerhof effective area method, so for B prime and L prime, similarly for this problem, your loading is along B or with B. Therefore, B prime is equal to B, that is 1.5 minus twice of eccentricity, which is 0.15. Thus, B prime is 1.2 meter initially. L prime is L, that is infinite. Again, for computation of the pressure, use L as infinite, but computation of force, use per unit length. Okay, so comparing the two, 1.2 and infinite value, so the lower is B prime, therefore B prime is 1.2, and the longer is the infinite, which is for L prime. So for the ultimate bearing capacity, our QU, again, C prime is 0, therefore eliminating our first term. So our overburden pressure, there is no modification because there is no shallow groundwater table. Q is equal to gamma times Z or dF, that is 16 times 1 or 16 kilopascals. Bearing capacity factors, again under general bearing capacity equations using table 2.3. So our phi prime is 35, thus our NQ is 33.3 and our N gamma is 48.03. Set aside our identified values. And for our additional factors from table 2.4. Again, for the shape factors, since this falls under long, continuous, or strip footing, so L is approximately equal to infinity value. Okay, so L as L prime as infinite value, therefore FQS is equal to F gamma S, which is equal to 1. For the depth factors, again comparing dF all over B, no modification for B, still B as the original B. So dF, that is 1, divided by B, which is 1.5. The answer is 0.666667, which is less than 1. Under first group of equation. And phi prime is greater than 0. Phi prime as 35 degrees. Second cluster of equation. So for our FQD, that is now 1 plus 2 times tangent of 35 phi prime. Multiply that with the quantity 1 minus sine of 35, the phi prime, raised to 2. Then multiply 2. Again, take note that if your dF all over B is group of decimal number, then consider the actual dF all over B. So for this case, we will be using the actual dF, which is 1 all over B, 1.5. Therefore, FQD is equal to 1.17. F gamma D is always equal to 1. And for the inclination factors, beta is equal to 20 degrees. And for our FQI, it is equal to, so we have already the inclination, 20 degrees. So FQI is the quantity 1 minus beta, that is 20 degrees, all over 90 degrees, raised to 2. The value is 0.605. On the other hand, for our F gamma I, it is equal to the quantity 1 minus beta, 20 degrees, divided by phi prime of 35 degrees, raised to 2. Or it is 0.184. So set aside our values. Therefore, let's identify our QU. For QU, that is now our Q, 16 times NQ of 33.3 times FQS of 1 times FQD of 1.17 times inclination factor of 0.605 plus 1/2 times B prime, so 1.2, not 1.5, times gamma 16 times N gamma of 48.03 times F gamma S of 1, F gamma D of 1, and F gamma I 0.184. Our QU is 461.718 kilopascals. And for our force, multiply this pressure with our effective dimension. Again, our B prime, that is 1.2 meter, and instead of infinite, again, this is already the force, we will be using a unit length, which is 1 meter. Thus, our initial load is 554.061 kilonewtons. Our interest is the inclined load. So for this inclined load now, we need to convert this vertical load. So with our beta, that's 20 degrees. So what is this QU EI? So for that QU EI, comparing now or relating that to our QU and 20 degrees, that is cosine of the angle. So the cosine of beta, which is our angle 20 degrees, is equal to the adjacent side, QU, divided by our hypotenuse side. Okay, so for our QU EI, it is equal to our QU, so interchange, divided by cosine of beta. Therefore, our QU, that is 554.061 kilonewtons, divided by cosine of beta, which is 20 degrees. Thus, for our inclined ultimate load, it is equal to 589.62 kilonewtons, that is inclined to about 70 degrees from the horizontal. So please consider this problem as your practice problem. That's it for the soil bearing capacity for shallow foundations under eccentric loading, one-way eccentricity. Take care and God bless.